The age of AI has largely transitioned to the age of AI agents, and for good reason. Agents help to make AI more useful and practical for the specific tasks or processes we work on. And the data backs up this usefulness. In Microsoft's recently released 2026 Work Trend Index report, they reported a 15x year-over-year growth in active agents across the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. But one of the most powerful options as a Microsoft 365 Copilot user isn't just to use agents that someone else has provided to you. Microsoft gives you all the tools to create your own. In this video, I'm going to overview why you should be becoming an agent creator and how, with recent updates to the Agent Builder experience, this process has become easier than ever. My name is Nick DeCourcy. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant who specialises in AI adoption for small and medium-sized businesses. I'm also a Microsoft MVP for Microsoft 365 Copilot. If you're interested in keeping up with AI advancements, make sure you get subscribed to the channel and drop this video a like so you can get to see more from me in the future. And if you're interested in working with me, check out the links down in the video description to get in contact. We can think of an agent as an AI that has been given the capability to do things. And those things can be practically anything, from sending an email to updating a CRM to controlling a computer. There's even now marketplaces available for AI agents to hire human labour to go do things in the real world they cannot do from their digital prison data centres. Microsoft shares this useful diagram outlining the components of an agent and how they layer on top of the foundation AI model that is the brains of the operation. We equip the agent with knowledge, such as the files we have access to in Microsoft 365, skills, such as that ability to update a CRM record, and autonomy, the limits within which the agent can plan or remember or make decisions. These aspects are controlled by an orchestrator, which in most cases within Microsoft's tech stack is something they provide that offers the logic and safety systems around how work is approached. And sitting on top of that is a user experience layer, which in most cases right now is a chat window, but it doesn't actually need to be. Agents are a core part of the Microsoft 365 Copilot experience. They are prominently displayed on the left menu rail in the Copilot app, and they are anchored by an agent store filled with options for pre-built agents. Many come from Microsoft, such as Researcher or Analyst, or even Copilot Codework that's now available for Frontier users. I have videos on each of these that I'll drop links to down in the description. There's also a bunch of third-party agents, generally made by the vendors of other SaaS services like Canva, and with the pre-equipped capability to plug into that other service to do useful work or status reporting directly from the Copilot interface. You'll also see organisational agents here if you have any published. You can think of the agent store much like the iOS App Store, but in terms of how it works, it's much closer to the Teams App Store many of us will have been familiar with for years. Many of these pre-built agents are fantastic and extremely useful, and if you've not yet taken the time to really check any out, I'd recommend that as a good starting point before starting to build your own. But the real power of Microsoft's Copilot platform is pretty much anything you see in a pre-built agent, we can build in a custom agent that works in exactly the way we need it to. Copilot is ultimately a big platform for customized extensibility, with the end goal being that organizations can get it to work exactly how they need for their unique processes. To enable this to happen, Microsoft offers 3 layers of tools in terms of complexity and the skill set you need to address them. At the top, with the greatest level of customization offered, is Microsoft Foundry, and specifically Foundry Agents. This offers the building blocks professional developers need to spin up fully custom agents, while still using the necessary pieces of the Microsoft technology stack to drive integration. Then we have Copilot Studio, a low-code building experience that is part of Microsoft Power Platform, where professionals and power users can create highly customized agents while relying on an end-to-end platform experience where Microsoft manages important aspects like the orchestration layer. And last is the tool that's designed to be addressable by any interested end user, Agent Builder. This is a no-code agent building experience that uses the structure of Microsoft 365 Copilot's orchestrator and capabilities, while allowing you to drive high-value customization to deliver personal or team agents better aligned with your tasks or processes. If you're an end user with a Copilot license, then where you want to start is Agent Builder. This just got a big visual refresh, and this is the experience we are going to be walking through today to show you some of how to use it and give you some inspiration for your first agent build. So here we are in Copilot Chat, and the whole point of thinking about agents in this context is to customize how Copilot works with you and to think about how you can take tasks that you normally do and break them down so that agents can help you with them. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to pretend to be a marketing agency that's working with a fictitious company called Northwind Coffee Roasters. And as with all my demos, everything you're going to see is going to be example demo data. There's nothing real here. And I'm just going to add a prompt giving Copilot some context and telling it that I want to create a Facebook post related to a new product that Northwind Coffee Roasters is releasing. And obviously, Copilot is going to be okay at this. It's going to give me something back if there's information in my tenant that it can find that's relevant to this, that it's going to go out and find it. And the job that it does is okay, but it's fairly bland. And I could improve this by adding more information into my prompt, adding more context, grounding it more specifically. So there are actions that I could take there around this. However, we've put together a brand guide for Northwind Coffee Roasters. And what I want to do is to take this information that's through this brand guide and create an agent that's going to utilize this to improve my performance when it comes to creating those social media posts. So back over in Copilot Chat, I can create a new agent by just going to the new agent option under the agents menu. And you can see this opens the Agent Builder experience. Now, if you've used Agent Builder before, but you haven't been here for a little while, this will look very different to what you've seen before because they've really updated it and made the look and feel of it and the process of creating an agent a bit more straightforward. But everything that you may have used before is still there. And for this demo, we're just going to walk through the whole process. So if there's anything that you're missing or you've not seen this before, we're going to start from scratch here. So just to give you some context as to what's going on. So I have a whole bunch of template agents at the bottom here that I can just use. And if I click on one of these, what it'll do is actually grab that whole agent, the template, and it'll put this into this configure view here where I can see those components that an agent will have. So an agent has a name, it has a description of what it does, it has instructions that outline what you want it to do and how you want it to do that. It has knowledge that we can add here, whether there's SharePoint sites that we want to have access to, if we wanted to have access to all of our sites, if we wanted to have access to all of our emails, for example, we could do that from here as well. So you can see already here I've got this having access to all of my SharePoint sites folders and files, and that's including OneDrive as well. I've got Teams in here and I've got emails in here, and this has capabilities, so tools that it's got that it can go out and create a document, otherwise known as code interpreter, or creating images, and a set of suggested prompts as well. But in this case, I don't want to start with a template. I want to start from scratch. So I'm going to go back to this screen. So I'm going to start off by telling Agent Builder what I want to build. This agent supports our agency team in drafting Facebook content for Northwind Coffee Roasters as one of our specialist coffee clients. It is grounded in Northwind's published Facebook brand and content guide. So I'm going to add that here so I can add content. I'm going to add some work content. I'm actually going to attach some a cloud file here. I've got this in OneDrive. You can see there I've got my Northwind Coffee Roasters Facebook brand guide. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that in here so it's got that context, and I'm just going to run that as a prompt. So basically now I have Copilot creating an agent that is going to live in Copilot. And you can see that after a few seconds, Copilot actually, or Agent Builder actually creates the whole agent for me. So you can see it's given it a name, it's given it a description, it's given a whole bunch of instructions, your purpose, general guidelines, etc., etc. So what you would expect is taking this from the document. It wants it to only use those specified sources. Now, one of the things that I don't think it can do from here is actually add that specific file as knowledge. So if I go in here and I actually re-add that file, I want that file to actually be specific knowledge in here as well. So just be aware of that you might upload a file to begin with. It isn't necessarily going to add that entire file, although it will have added a good portion of its interpretation of that information into the instructions here as well. And then it's given it some capabilities. Maybe I don't want it to be able to create documents. Maybe I'm not really looking for it to create images, and a whole bunch of different suggested prompts. So you can see the different things that it's done. So I can edit either, and I've done so. I've edited over here in the configuration view, but I can also edit from here. So say I remove one of these suggested prompts, for example. So I've said add a starter prompt to review draft Facebook post and provide feedback against those brand guidelines. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and I can work back and forth in chat with Agent Builder to improve the agent. So you can see now I've got this draft Facebook post option here, and it's been added. I could try my agent directly from here, so I could go ahead and I can try this and see how it works. So I could try it, go back to configure, change something, maybe chat here and change something, and then go back and try it. So it's an iterative process where you can work out what it's doing for you and how it's improving over time. But once you're ready and you've actually created the agent that you want here, what you're going to do is you're going to click on Create, and it's actually going to go ahead and provision that agent so that you can use it in Microsoft 365 Copilot. By default, when you've created this agent, it will be private to you. But if you want to share it with other people in your organization, it's as easy as just specifying who it is that you want to share it with and then giving them the link. So it's very much like sharing a file in SharePoint. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it private to me, and I'm going to go to the agent. And now I've got exactly the same prompt that I started with, and I'm going to put this into this specialist agent and see what we get back. And you can see it's created a new post, it's referenced the brand guide, it's working within the specifics of that. And the more interesting thing that we could do, if we jump back to that first chat that I had with just Copilot, not the agent, is in Copilot chat, I can actually @mention my agent. So I can come in here and @mention this content guide agent and say to it, can you improve this post? And because this is operating within the context of Microsoft 365 Copilot, it has full visibility into what has come in the chat beforehand. So this approach of mentioning an agent, then chaining together different agent outputs, is a really useful way to use these tools in the flow of work. And you can imagine that you would have different agents that you might use in different parts of a particular process. There'll be task-oriented agents. A more focused agent is always going to be better and more reliable than a more complicated agent. And so you could use multiple agents in your chat like this. And that's a really effective way of using agents without overcomplicating the creation of them.
One important question about agents in Microsoft 365 Copilot is how they work with licensing. And as with all Microsoft licensing questions, the answer is more wrinkled than might be ideal. If you have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, otherwise now known as a Copilot Premium license, you can create and use any agent capability in Agent Builder. And in fact, you can pretty much use all the capabilities if you step up to Copilot Studio too. Right now, everything you see in Agent Builder is just included. With Copilot Basic, those with a Microsoft 365 license but not a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, the picture is more complex. Out of the box, you can create and use agents, but you cannot use any knowledge grounding that relies on Microsoft 365 search. So you could reference a file in your chat, but you cannot search through all your emails. If pay-as-you-go or metering for Microsoft 365 Copilot agents is enabled for you, then all the features of Agent Builder agents, including that Microsoft 365 grounding search, can be used. But each prompt that does this requires the use of Copilot credits. This could get pretty expensive, with a single tenant data search costing 10 Copilot credits or around 10 cents.
However, in my view, agents are just another reason why a Microsoft 365 Copilot license is so useful. These tools can be really important to every part of your workday, and with the right approach to agent building, practically any knowledge worker should be able to get far more than $30 of productive value out of a Copilot license each month, in my opinion. Let me know your experiences with the new Agent Builder. What features would you like to see here next? Thanks for watching through to the end. Until the next video, bye bye.